Good morning. Hope you're going well. What's today? Today is Wednesday, so middle of the week. Again, be wary of the news. Quite a lot of major news around this week. But we've had some big moves from certain currencies, so lots on offer today, potentially, if we get pullbacks, of course. And a few strong and weak currencies that make a big list of some big moves that happened yesterday. So hopefully we'll get some pullbacks and be able to jump on some of those trades. So we'll start off with Aussie CAD. Aussie CAD, we've had a breakdown by the daily 50 and a massive surge yesterday because we had Aussie weakness and it appears some sort of CAD strength, mostly Aussie weakness. So we had our wave 3 projection a while ago, and it's still quite a long way to go before we can reach the 1.272 minimum target for a wave 3. But there was a big move yesterday, so obviously we need to have a big pullback. So on the hourly chart we have this. So obviously the MACD looks good. We've had since we visited the 4-hour 50 and launched from there, we've had very positive MACD momentum. We need it to pull back to our 382, or actually to our daily pivot. Pip snatch is the obvious one to go for here. And waiting for the 1-hour 50 to catch up. So that could take quite a big move, but it's possible. This one is okay. Maybe another 6, 7, 8 hours we'll have a big enough pullback with the 1-hour 50 catching up to be able to enter around the daily pivot. So that's a good one to keep an eye on. Let's move on to Aussie Yen. I'll go quickly because there are so many and many look very similar. Aussie Yen, again, a massive breakdown yesterday, breaking through the daily 50 and then just blasting down below it. So that looks good for a DDP of short today. Is there any level we're looking at there? Maybe these, no, not really. No, okay. And similarly here, we've got a big breakdown. Pull back to the to the daily pivot with the 1-hour 50 needs some time to catch up. That also could look good in a few hours time to keep an eye on that one. Aussie Kiwi. Kiwi, another breakdown. Again, we've got this is a retest of the daily 50, which came back, tested beautifully yesterday, and that would have been nice for a power trend. Short. This was news driven, so it would have been a bit risky, but the fact is Aussie went very weak. Actually, maybe it wasn't news driven because the news actually wasn't bad at all, so that's a bit strange. But anyway, I had a big move down yesterday, so expecting that to continue down further short today. So we have a level here. Okay, so we're at this level. The close yesterday, which is this level, this low here, and also this low here. So this is quite a strong level. You need to be aware of that. If you want to trade through it, that's up to you. It could be a bit risky. So here we have the pip snatcher again, would be okay. Or we've also got an ACBB, so the IBO after the 4-hour 50 retest with the 4-hour 50 behind us. But with this one and with that that level of support on the daily, it's probably best just to stick with the pip snatcher. There's not much more on offer anyway. With the pip snatcher, you can get a 1-to-1, nice quick easy 1-to-1. Should it pull back? Yeah, so that's a nice one. 1-hour 50 is not too far behind. MACD still looks really good. And ABC correction, pull back in 3 or 4 hours, and that could be very nice. The quick snatcher short. So obviously there's lots of Aussies. So pick the best one, the one you like the best, the one that gives you the best potential. Okay, so Aussie USD strength and Aussie weakness yesterday. So there's a massive move down, big breakdown. Is there a level there? Not really. So again, we need range for a pullback, and it's going to take a long time. This 4-hour 50 to catch it. So the 1-hour 50 to catch up to our daily pivot. The pip snatcher again, quick 1-to-1 short. Need to wait another 8 hours or so, and hopefully the 1 hour 50 will come back in line with the daily pivot. Give us an entry, quick 1-to-1. Could you do a power trend, a hyper trade from this? Yes, you could. But this was a massive move yesterday, so asking for 4-to-1 from this big move is probably a bit too much to ask. I'd personally would just stick with the pitch snatcher 1-to-1. Euro Aussie, what do we have here? So with the Aussie weakness, we've got a Euro Aussie strength for some more bullish action to continue today. It's good on the daily, new highs. So we're going to keep trading into the sky's the limit. And again, we're waiting for a pitch snatcher, and we'll need a pullback and 1 hour 50 to catch up. This one's quite a long way behind, so maybe not as likely to play out, but we have to keep an eye on all of these to see which one looks best when the pullback occurs. If it occurs, of course. Euro pound, a bit different. Right, we have strength in Euro pound. We've been testing the daily 50 for a while, and then we've got a couple of bullish days, and that looks like it might continue. On the 1 hour chart, we've got a nice little trend line here. The MACD still looks good. It's doing higher highs, higher lows on the MACD. So we get a pullback to the pivot. Quick 1-to-1 pitch snatcher again. The trend line and the 1 hour 50 not too far behind. So hopefully that will line up quite nicely and give a quick 1-to-1 setup there on the pitch snatcher. So that's one to keep an eye on, certainly. Euro USD. Obviously today's the day of the pitch snatches. We got another bearish day from the daily 50. That's very good, but we do have this level here, which is this low and this high here. Anything go further back? Yeah, not really. So maybe that's a strong-ish line we'd be breaking through, but not the end of the world. And pitch snatcher. You probably could get a CBO out of this, but I'm not sure if the fibs will look that good. Let's have a quick look at the fibs. It does reverse from here, which looks like it will. Yeah, we've got the 4 hour 50s before our 618 retracement, so that's okay. So we get slightly tighter stop on the CBO, and you can push it a bit further. So maybe this will be a bit more interesting as a CBO. That's another option, or there's the quick pitch snatcher, of course, as well. So a couple of options on that one. That looks pretty good. And I'll see. Right, we are breaking up from this support level, which we saw a few days ago, and looking for more strength to continue. On the hourly chart, got a nice trend line, which is good. 1 hour 50 is on line with the trend line, which gives some nice support. Actually, the daily pivot about now, so that's probably not going to be the best. Entry pulls down here, maybe can enter as it breaks through the daily pivot on the way up. Or it might just hang around here for a bit. And then the 1 hour 50 is still behind, so that's probably not going to set up as nicely because of the way the price action is. MACD looks good, so keep an eye on that one. Pound Swiss. And Swiss for going short, the daily 50, a few very bearish days, heading towards this level here, which is quite a lot of lows, respecting it, a lot of support. So support there, pretty much there, and just below there. So we'll be trading through that level if we go much more short. So maybe it's best just to go for a quick 1-to-1 pitch snatcher. MACD looks good, but the 1 hour 50 is way too far behind. So I doubt if that one will actually set up. On it anyway. Just don't know what's going to happen, but I would say that's probably a low probability of setting up. Pound yen had a very bearish day yesterday. Bit of room for the daily 50, not a lot, but a bit of room. Maybe there's a quick 1-to-1 in here. Yeah, pitch snatcher looks pretty good. We've rejected the daily 20. Is there a trend line here? There's a trend line. Got that clear? The hourly 50 is a long way behind still, so that's got a lot of catching up to do. Looks okay, but so wait to see how that one sets up. And dollar. Like I'm repeating myself quite a lot here today. Good breakdown, very strong breakdown after this long consolidation. With the daily 50 acting as resistance, but now we've got a big breakdown yesterday. Looking for that to continue short. That's down to the US dollar strength, of course. And here we have a pip snatcher possibly lining up. 150 again is quite a long way behind, so we need to see if that does manage to catch up by the time the entry presents. Kiwi CAD, we've had a pullback to 30.50 and now we've had a few bearish days, which is good, so we want that to continue down. We're going through new lows soon. It's a bit of room before we hit new lows, but there's not that much on this level that I can see. Maybe a little bit further down there is. There, and there. So Kiwi CAD. And okay, here we go. So we're heading down to the lows. This is an IBO. Sorry, a CBO. This is a nice CBO. So 150 here, it pulls back now to the daily pivot 382. 150 catching up. If 150 to catch up, that'd be great. 150 is not too far behind before the 618, so it could be a great CBO. And that could be a nice, interesting one. Because it's CBO, we can have a tighter stop. Be careful though, because the 450 is not that much before the 618, so give it a bit of room. You don't want it wicking through and then taking you out before going a long way down, which would have been nice to be in the trade still. So aiming for the lows would be an obvious profit target, or more conservatively, you can go for the S1 or the daily pivots. Here we go. Here again. 1, 2, 3 bearish days, breaking to the daily 50. That looks pretty good. And on the 1 hour chart, we've got not the best of action. We've got breaking down through 150, 450 to the daily 50 and daily 20, acting as support, and then it broke through it cleanly yesterday. So it's pulling back now, but the 1 hour 50 is way behind. So that's see how that sets up, but it's not looking too good at the moment because the pivot's almost being tested and the 1 hour 50 is way up here. So just keep an eye on it, but probably not going to play out. Kiwi dollar. Breaking down from daily 50 and then looking pretty good for some more short action. Here you can see the 1 hour 50 and 4 hour 50 strongly rejected, and then a very bearish move down there. So we get a pullback. Maybe the pip snatcher will line up. 1 hour 50 has got a long way to catch up. See how that looks in a few hours, but long way for that to catch up. But we'll see. Keep an eye on it. Plenty to keep an eye on. Dollar CAD. Dollar CAD. Very bullish day yesterday. So that was yeah, that strength to continue. Coming up to these highs, it's okay. And we've got a very bullish move. And again, the 1 hour 50 is a long way behind. So the dollar seems to move a bit too fast for most of the dollar pairs. Just keep an eye on it. Who knows what it's going to do? It might hang around here for quite a long time and pull back, give a nice entry. But otherwise, yeah, pip snatcher there, I think, is the best option. Dollar Swiss, similar thing, but this one's had a rejection of the day 50. Strong run up from that. Good launch. But we are at a level now where we've had a respected there and here and here and here and back here as well. So we're now at a level which is pretty strong. So we'll be trading through it. So I'll either do a quick 1-to-1 pip snatcher and don't go beyond these highs, which should be the safest bet. Or this even lines up for a CBO, and the CBO could probably one of the better looking CBOs. But we should be careful of your profit target because it is trading past that strong resistance level. Okay, last one, which is 2 more, but this is the last one that's setting up cleaning today. Dollar yen, bullish day, kind of meandering upwards, not looking that great actually, not quite sure why I selected this one. Okay, because the 4 hour 50 is acting as support, bounced off, launched off of that, and if it comes back, we can get probably one of the best dollar pairs because the 1 hour 50 is not too far behind, so it could be a nice quick pip snatcher 1-to-1. Could be good. And last one we look at is Euro Swiss, which is not sitting up quite yet. But we have, okay, we looked at it yesterday, it's pulled back to daily 50 and it's tried to break away but pulled back down again. Is that just deceleration or does that mean it's not going to go up but we're going to break the daily 50? Let's look at the 1 hour chart and what do we see? We see lots of movement. Daily 20 has been acting as very good support. 4 hour 50 has kind of been ignored. 1 hour 50 is acting as resistance. So the only way this would be interesting would be to break the 1 hour 50 and 4 hour 50 and then create a higher high. So we break all this range here, break those highs, pull back down to the 1 hour 50 and 4 hour 50, and that gives a nice CBO. And then we can then take that as high as you like. To the old highs. There you go, lots to keep an eye on. Wish you all the best in the markets. Just pick the best of the best, and hopefully get some action later on that will set up. And I will speak to you tomorrow. All the best. I'll speak to you then. Take care.